Good morning. I'm Larry Quinn, United States Naval Reserve, and a proud professor of marketing at High Point University. Welcome to this glorious Veterans Day celebration to all our veterans, family, and students. Thank you for joining us. Please stand for the presentation of the color by the High Point University ROTC and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by the High Point University Choral Society, headed by Dr. Mark Foster. And a reminder to veterans, you've been extended the courtesy of the hand salute. Now please bow your heads and join me in prayer. Almighty God, we stand here today to pay tribute to brave men and women, living and dead, who have served their country in the armed forces. Accept our thanksgiving for their sacrifices and the sacrifices of their families, which have purchased for us a free land. Let our spirits be proud of them. Let their hearts be compassionate and our minds clear and determined in giving them the honor and respect they deserve. Rekindle within us a flame of selfless, unwavering devotion to duty, that we may never be found wanting in those qualities of spirit and mind which are able to preserve our homes, our communities, and the peace of our nation. Keep our memories alive with gratitude, and our gratitude alive with our faithfulness to the principles which made our nation great. Grant, we pray, joy and fulfillment to those still living, and for those who are at rest, grant your peace. Amen. Please be seated. It's my privilege to introduce the president of High Point University. Since 2005, Dr. Qubein has led High Point University through an extraordinary transformation, has tripled the enrollment of our students and tripled the number of faculty on our campus, and has led a rise in our U.S. News college and ranking from number 17 to number 1. He did it all while proudly proclaiming High Point University as a God, family, and country school. Will you please join me in welcoming High Point University President, Dr. Qubein.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to your university. It is only ironic that an immigrant to this country would be the president of a university that shouts from the mountaintop, "We are indeed believers in God Almighty. We are indeed patriots to this nation called the United States of America. We are indeed believers in family and friends as we look at all of you this morning. I don't know about you, but I start crying over there and my mascara is all torn up. Wow, what voices of angels. Well, there are a couple of guys there who are not angels, I know them, but most of them are angels. What a sound of patriotism and glory to a nation that has given opportunities to so many of us, including me, who came here in age 17, and my wife, who came here to reside in these United States of America. This is a moment of pride for High Point University. This is a moment of gratitude from somebody you've allowed to become one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, High Point University has been hosting a Veterans Day celebration for the last 6 years. It keeps growing every year. We're delighted with that. I think we have something like 900 people here this morning. This is wonderful. And I want to recognize, if you'd allow me for just a second, some of those who've allowed us to have this event, our sponsors this morning, Ilderton Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. Tim Ilderton is president, and Steve Ilderton is vice president. Tim and Steve's father, Kerry, who passed away earlier this year, what a wonderful gentleman he was, served the United States Army during World War II. Merrill Lynch, the Tilley Group, and the Tilley Higgins Donor Advice Fund. Scott Tilley, Senior Vice President of Wealth Management. Scott is joined by his mother, Nancy, his father, Alan, who is deceased, served in the U.S. Marines, and his name lives on the campus of High Point University in our School of Commerce, and we're grateful for that. River Landing at Sandy Ridge, Tom Smith, Executive Director. River Landing is a wonderful partner of High Point University. Several of their residents who served in the U.S. military are here today with their spouses, and we thank them, everyone. Samet Corporation, Arthur Samet, President and CEO. Samet Corporation has built several buildings on this campus and have done a great job, and they're always supporting all that we do. Would you please, may I ask the sponsors to please stand, and would you please acknowledge them for their kindness and generosity? Dear friends, I teach 3 classes on the campus of High Point University. I teach 2 freshman classes, 750 students per class, and a seniors class. And this week, on Thursday, yesterday, when I teach those classes, I began the class by saying, let us take a moment to thank God for that quality that we have, for that gift that we possess, that we got for nothing. And everybody thinks, of course, of the word freedom. But before freedom, we must thank God for something called oxygen, without which we would not be breathing and we would not be alive. And then I said to our students, what country do you know of where half the population wanted these elected officials and half the population wanted these elected officials? Divided as we may have been in our selection, would wake up the next morning and see the sun rise in the east again. People going to work, students going to classes, professors showing up to guide them and lead them. There is a strength in America that is unmatched anywhere on the face of this globe. It is a nation of men and women, children, families, and leaders who acknowledge and understand that we might celebrate our differences as we always acknowledge and respect our similarities. We may have different opinions about different things, but we all have one common opinion: patriotism to the nation in which we reside, a love for the God who breathed in our nostrils and gave us life, and the joy and the freedom that we enjoy on this earth in these United States of America every day. When I'm asked about the outlook for our nation, I always share that I'm optimistic. I have to be. I'm an immigrant. I came here with $50. Could hardly speak English. What I found in America are opportunities. There are more opportunities today than ever before. You are seated at this very moment in the heart of the American dream. Look at this university. Look what it has done in the last decade. Smack dab in the midst of the greatest recession we've seen in 75 years. We kept on moving onwards and upwards. People got together to do the work which is important. It is possible. We want our students to graduate from this university believing in the art of the possible. The last four letters of the word American are I-C-A-N. I can. We tell our students there's no such thing as unrealistic dreams, only unrealistic timelines. So when I'm asked about the outlook for our nation, I always share that I'm optimistic, that America's future is bright. And I say that confidently because I have the privilege of being surrounded by our future leaders every day, some 5,000 of them, and 1,600 more guiding them every day. High Point University is a values-based school that attracts and encourages students to be values-based individuals. Our students contribute more than 100,000 hours every year of service in this community. They raise $1 million through 100 organizations to help people in need. Today, I'm proud to tell you that we have students here to honor you from a dozen or more of student groups, including the HPU ROTC that you saw this morning. At High Point University, we have Air Force and Army ROTC programs in conjunction with other Triad universities. We currently have 12 Army cadets and 6 Air Force cadets enrolled in this school, and we hope to grow that. We also have today, and I'm going to ask you to stand as I call your group. We also have today men's baseball. Stand up, gentlemen. Look at the hats. Look at the hats they're wearing. Gentlemen, I don't know which one of you brought me the hat, but thank you. I love it. I thank you for it. The American flag, proud of being an American. Women's lacrosse. Women's lacrosse, ladies. Men's lacrosse. Men's lacrosse. United Apparel, this is a student group supporting homeless veterans. Imagine this, supporting homeless veterans, raising money to support them. All of you from United Apparel, please stand. Let me see where you are. Oh, you're all the way up on top. Okay. Yes, yes, I see. Members of Kappa Alpha Order. Members of Kappa Alpha. Gentlemen, you look like $1 million. Good morning. Ladies of Phi Mu, sisters of Phi Mu, where are you? There you are, good morning. Pi Kappa Alpha. Pi Kappa Alpha? All right, the email went into their spam. Okay. Sigma, Sigma, Sigma. Good morning, good morning. Zeta Tau Alpha. Zeta Tau Alpha. There you are. Good morning. Alpha Chi Omega. Good morning. Good morning. And there are many other students here and friends who represent their organizations. We have more than 100 organizations on this campus. But veterans, I want you to notice something. This school does not hide the fact that we are patriots. This school does not hide the fact that we're proud to be Americans. These students got up early this morning. You know, students don't wake up till 1:30. They got up this morning to salute you and to express their gratitude to you. We also have a couple of veterans with a birthday. Dr. Chip Duckett, who is a member of our own High Point University Board of Visitors, is joined today by his father, Charles Howard Duckett, who served in the U.S. Air Force. Mr. Duckett is celebrating his 84th birthday today. Mr. Duckett, where are you? Wave at us. There he is. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? World War II veteran is with us today. His name is William Sturdivant, and he is 102 years young. Where are you, William? Can you sing happy birthday? Happy birthday. Here we go. You know, they say one of the marks of leadership is to be flexible and nimble. I looked over there while you're standing up and asked Dr. Foster, can they sing happy birthday? And he didn't answer. They just stood up, started singing. That's what talent is. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to have with us some distinguished guests. All of you are distinguished. Veterans, you are our guests of honor today. But we also have some leaders in our community that I'd like to recognize. If I miss anybody, please accept my apology in advance, but we're delighted to have each of you here. As president of Hype University, I'm particularly proud to have with us today Representative Craig Horn. Representative Horn is the chair of the Appropriation Education Committee in the state of North Carolina. Let me tell you how important this is. We presidents kiss up to him all the time. Representative Horn, would you please stand up? Thank you, sir, for your leadership. Hype University is one of 35 private schools in the state of North Carolina, and we are led by the North Carolina Independent Colleges and Universities president, who is able and recognized and acknowledged from coast to coast and border to border. Her name is Dr. Hope Williams. She resides in Raleigh and assists our students from North Carolina, working with talented representatives like Representative Horn to ensure that our students have the capacity and the ability to afford to come to a resident school like High Point University. Would you please help me welcome Dr. Hope Williams? Hope, would you please stand? Thank you both for being with us. I should tell you that Representative Horn is the one who made it possible for us today to have our distinguished speaker, and I thank you very much, sir. We have, those of us who live in the city of High Point are glad and proud and thankful to have a mayor who gets it, a mayor who understands that a university like High Point is in fact a solid asset for this community, a mayor who steps out of his daily routine of business, earning a living to serve the citizens of this city. His name is Bill Bensini. Mayor Bensini, will you please stand? Good morning and thank you for being here. We have some council members, one I will introduce shortly. Others, we have Jason Ewing. I will call all of them and ask them to stand. Hold your applause till the end. Jason, would you please stand? Jeff Phillips is chairman of the commissioners in Guilford County. Jeff, are you here? Please stand if you're here. There you are, Jeff. Good morning, sir. Carlvina Foster, county commissioner and one who loves High Point University. Way to go, Carlvina. You're going to be the next president of this institution in 30 years. Representative John Faircloth, our man from the city of High Point in Raleigh, ladies and gentlemen. Ed Price, Guilford County Schools. Dr. Meg Sheehan from the Guilford County Schools. Our own city manager, Greg Demko. Greg, where are you? Please stand. And our own police chief. We have the most handsome police chief in any city in North Carolina, and he has the biggest gun. His name is Chief Schultz. Good morning, Chief. And then, of course, Deputy Chief of our High Point the Fire Department, Deputy Chief Wright. Good morning, sir. Where are you? There you are. And we have from Guilford County Schools also Diane Bellany Small. We're glad to have you with us this morning. I talked to Diane. There you are. Good morning. If I miss anybody, I apologize, but would you please welcome all of these special guests? What brings us here today is really the work of one man. His name is Raymond Weeks. a World War II veteran from Birmingham, Alabama. After returning from the war, he wanted a national holiday honoring all war veterans. So he gathered signatures and delivered it personally to the Army Chief of Staff, General Dwight Eisenhower. He helped create the first Veterans Day in 1947 in his hometown of Birmingham. Veterans Day officially became a federal holiday in 1954, and today Raymond Weeks is known as the father of Veterans Day. In November 1982, he received from President Ronald Reagan the Presidential Citizens Medal for his unselfish service to his country. On that day, President Reagan said, nothing is more important to the soul of America than remembering and honoring those who gave of themselves so that we might enjoy the fruits of peace and liberty. So look at us today, veterans from all around who love their country, who serve their country, who continue to support all elements that make America great. The valor of soldiers, sailors, and Marines has provided us all with safety and security. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you. President Coolidge once said, the nation which forgets its defendants will be itself forgotten. We must never forget. In the back of this room is the Congressional Medal of Honor, which was received by one of our own graduates at High Point University. His name is Jack Lucas. I hope you'd look at it when you leave here, this place this morning. Jack Lucas was a farmer's son from Plymouth, North Carolina. After the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, he enlisted in the Marines. He was only 14 years old. He lied about his age, forged his mom's signature, and went to war. In February 1945, 6 days after his 17th birthday, he was fighting in South Pacific, and during the Battle of Iwo Jima, he used his body to shield 3 members of his squad from 2 grenades during a Japanese ambush. He survived, and he saved the lives of 3 Marines. In October 1945, after 7 months in the hospital, Lucas was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for his conspicuous gallantry and his exceptionally courageous initiative. We have a photo of that very moment in our own Smith Library on this campus. Lucas became the youngest recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor in the 20th century. That is the very award that you can see here today. In 1956, he graduated with a business degree from High Point College, right here on this very campus. Meanwhile, he went through 26 operations where doctors removed more than 200 pieces of shrapnel from his body. He died in June of 2008. He was 80 years old, but a few years before his death, he wrote a book about his life. He called it Indestructible, the unforgettable story of a Marine hero at the Battle of Iwo Jima. In it, he wrote, and I quote, "Pride in America will help us sustain the unprecedented liberties we know and we enjoy. Freedom did not come cheaply, nor does it have a guarantee to last. It carries with it responsibilities of each and every one of us." Harry Truman is the very president who awarded Lucas his Congressional Medal of Honor more than 70 years ago. You'll find one of President Truman's quotes on our own promenade. He said, "America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and on unbeatable determination to do the job at hand." Yes, dear friends, America is built on courage. We all can be something incredibly amazing with faith and courage. As we say at High Point University, faithful courage, with a clear vision and with consistent execution. This is America. This is who we are. Patriotism is a value we cherish at High Point University, and the flag is a symbol we all respect. The veterans today remind us all they were given the gift of freedom. And when we hear the national anthem as we did this morning, and when we stand up and place our hand over our heart, every athlete at High Point University, every athlete at every event has their hand on their heart when we play the national anthem. When we hear the national anthem and when we stand up and place our hand over our heart, we need to thank you. We need to remember that those words mean and what those words represent. They represent all of us. So let us all heed the advice of President Coolidge that he gave us long ago. Remember, the nation that forgets its defenders will be itself forgotten. That is so relevant today. We always need to remember, and we can never forget you, your sacrifice, and your service. On behalf of High Point University, 6,600 individuals who gather every day to do our work, the more than 25,000 alumni, the more than 80,000 visitors who come to this city to visit High Point University every year. Veterans, on this day, we thank God for you, and we thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you the Ward 1 councilman from the city of High Point. High Point University is located geographically in Ward 1. And our Ward 1 councilman is a man named Jeff Gordon, who works every day to enhance the vitality of our community. He's a great advocate for our city, and he is a remarkable supporter of this university. And we're honored to have Jeff Gordon with us today, who himself is a veteran of the Persian Gulf War. He's here today. Would you please help me welcome our friend, Councilman Jeff Golden.
Good morning, veterans, students, volunteers, guests. Appreciate you guys coming out on this morning. I've been tasked with doing the welcome for the city of High Point, partly because I'm a veteran and partly because I happen to live in this particular ward. So on behalf of the city of High Point, the mayor's office, the manager's office, we just thank you guys for allowing us to come out and participate on this event on this morning. High Point University's Veterans Day celebration, a patriotic salute and breakfast for military heroes. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank Dr. Qubein, Major General Kevin O'Connor, and Celia Sanders for allowing me to share the stage with them this morning. But we are here today to honor our service members and remember the sacrifices that they have made to allow us to enjoy our personal freedoms. I understand that some of these sacrifices, having served myself in the military, and I think back to my deployment to the Middle East, received orders to go to the Middle East on Thanksgiving Day of all days. And after that, we were shipped off to go down to Fort Bragg and prepare to leave and go over to the Gulf. But fortunately for us, our unit was under strength, so we got to hang around till after Christmas, which was a blessing. But the sad thing for me about that whole deployment, because I trusted the training and I knew we were going to be all right, was that my wife was 5 months pregnant. And I knew that that deployment was going to cause me to miss the birth of my first child. So I understand the sacrifices that military veterans have to deal with. Mine was minor, but some people have to deal with physical sacrifices, emotional sacrifices, and things of that nature. But we as vets, we understand the call when we get called to do anything. So we go willingly because we believe in what this country stands for. So I was proud to be a veteran. So on today, I'd just like to say thank you to all you veterans for everything you've done for us in this country, and thank you guys for coming out this morning. God bless you, veterans, and God bless these United States. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman Golden. It is my honor now to introduce to you a native of Clinton, Maryland, Kevin O'Connell, enrolled at High Point College with an Army ROTC scholarship. He married his wife, Edie, his junior year, and after graduating in 1982, he continued to serve in the military for 34 years, rising to the rank of Major General before retiring earlier this year. As the commanding general of the U.S. Army Sustainment Command, Kevin served at the headquarters of 600 highly trained professionals responsible for the global mission involving 7 brigades that support commanders worldwide. He and his wife, Edie, have a daughter and a son who currently serves as an Army major in Germany. When asked why he stayed in the military, Major General O'Connell humbly states, and I quote, "I wanted to serve the nation and be a part of something bigger than myself in supporting and defending the Constitution." It is indeed my honor to welcome on this platform one of our own distinguished alumni, retired Major General Kevin G. O'Connell.
Well, good morning and happy Veterans Day. Just want to thank all here today and all that people have done to welcome me back home to High Point. Everyone from President Qubein to the staff. It's a very special place to come back to. Just honored to be here with you this morning. And I'd just like to echo President Qubain's comments, the wonderful chamber singers, the loud but proud North Carolina brass band. You know, you have a little hearing loss, and coupled with that band, it makes the pre-ceremonial conversation a little challenging. So, but you sounded great, and your patriotic tribute was wonderful. But again, it's great to be back at High Point College, where my career basically started. And to say I'm amazed at how much it has changed would be a true understatement. I came here in 1978 from Clinton, Maryland, just out of high school, and my brother had been recruited to play basketball here at High Point. It's my older brother, so we'd heard about it, but I never set foot on the campus until my first day when I arrived. So my parents drove me down. There were about 3 buildings here, and they were in kind of a dilapidated condition. And my first reaction was, uh-oh, what did I get myself into down here at High Point? My mother took one look at the old McCulloch dorm, and she said, you know what? If you want to come back home and go to community college, it'd be okay. But I'm glad I stayed, because High Point gave me great opportunities. But I tell you, it's still a very different place now than it was then. When I came here in 1978, it was like going into a time warp, back to about 1963, you know, watching the black and white Andy Griffith show. Very friendly people, but very different than my home state of Maryland. I thought I'd major in personnel management. And I went and saw Dr. Robinson, who taught personnel management. He said, why do you want to major in personnel management? I said, I like people. He said, if you like people, join the Army. So I went and found the ROTC department, and the rest is history. You know, back then, High Point College at the time was not as academically acclaimed as it is today. Our philosophy was memorize and socialize. And we spent our free time in the old gym playing intramural basketball, and spent some nights at the Tom's Brass Rail, where we could get a 25-cent draft beer. So you know how long $5 would last you when you went to Tom's Brass Rail. One of the professors asked me, now are you ignorant or apathetic? And I said, I don't know, and I don't care. After one semester, I asked one of my friends, hey, why don't we go sell some of our books back to the bookstore, get some beer money or Burger King money? And he told me, I didn't buy any books this semester. So President Qubein, congratulations on turning High Point around, putting it on the map. I tell you, I've tried to help you put it on the map. Every time I go to a new assignment, I gather the troops up, and give them a semicircle, the old Vince Lombardi formation, and say, hey, I'm from the point, okay? I'm from the point. And they say, sir, we didn't know you went to the military academy. No, I'm from the real point, okay? I'm from High Point. Years ago, the reaction would be, never heard of it. And I'd say, furniture capital of the world. Okay, yeah, I think my parents got a kitchen table from High Point one time. I tell you now, they've heard of High Point University. And it's on the map. I tell you, another difference, though, seeing the students, I took a drive around campus today, saw some young ladies jogging at about 7 o'clock in the morning. I tell you, nobody was up at 7 o'clock in the morning when I was here. Saw these guys in ties at lacrosse team come in this morning. Ties were not on our packing list when we deployed to High Point College. Okay, so everybody looks great. We dress more like the baseball team, T-shirts, ball cap. The ball cap will save you time. We used to get up at about the crack of 9 for a 9 o'clock class. And that hat was a lifesaver. It saved a lot of time. With a hat, you don't need a shower. So you kind of multitask. But I tell you what, as I've been able to travel the country, travel the world, I get to talk to a lot of people. Talk to them at line at Disney or at line at Red Lobster. Wherever you go, there's lines and you talk to people. And when they find out I'm in the Army, first question is, you're still in the Army? And but they find out you're in the Army and they like to talk about their military service. Many people will tell you, you know what, I wish I'd have just served that 17 more short years and I'd be retired now. They did 3 and they wish they'd have served more. So I like to ask people why they serve. Why do people serve? My informal research has identified really 5 reasons. Many people here on the floor, our veterans, didn't get a choice. They were drafted. But they served to the call of duty. They were there when their country needed them, and they served honorably and proudly. But in today's volunteer military, I think there's 5 reasons. The first one is training. Pick up a trade, pick up a skill, learn a profession that you didn't get in high school or college, and get some good training to put in your resume. Second one is education. Whether you're an ROTC cadet on scholarship or you're going to school on a GI Bill, military, civilian education, whatever the case may be, you can advance your education. The third is adventure. See the world, jump out of airplanes, rappel out of helicopters, go to combat. Whatever you classify as adventure, there's a lot of adventure in the military. The fourth one is money. You may not be a millionaire, but it's a nice way of life. You can raise a family. You can live comfortably. You've got a retirement package if you stay that long. You've got commissary, post-exchange privileges and things like that, medical care, dental care. So they may sound a little selfish, but those 4 reasons, most people pick one of those 4 when they sign up. The 5th reason, and really the common thread that runs through everybody that joins the military, is service to the nation. And I think that's what it's all about. So when you look at the acronym, T for training, E for education, A for adventure, M for money, S for service to the nation, it spells teams. And our veterans here were not just on the team. They were not a water boy or handing out towels. They were a key member of the team. And once they've been through basic training and advanced individual training or ROTC, because of the turnover in the military, they quickly become team leaders. And they lead in very responsible conditions and situations and missions. So many at a very young age become leaders in the military. And I think our veterans, we need to look at them as not primetime players or franchise players. Our veterans are really our Hall of Fame. So I commend all our veterans here today, and the service piece is so important. Again, like President Qubein said, doing something bigger than yourself, and raising your right hand, taking that oath to serve, to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and willing to lay down their own lives to do that. So it's a pretty important, noble cause when you think about it, that people make that decision at a very young age and serve our country for our freedom and liberties that we have. In the past 100 years alone, our veterans have gone to and fought at places that they had never heard of before, places they couldn't pronounce or find on a map until they were there with boots on the ground. Places like Meuse-Argonne, France, Eniwetok Atoll in the Pacific, Iwo Jima, and remember Jack Lucas, our High Point College, High Point University's own Medal of Honor recipient from Iwo Jima, Utah Beach, Normandy, the Ngoc Dong River, Korea, Khe Sanh, Vietnam. Just in the last 30 years or so, places like Grenada, Panama, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Haiti, Lukovac, Bosnia, Taji, Iraq, Jalalabad, Afghanistan, and the list goes on and on. Far from home, tough conditions, an unpredictable enemy, lots of unknowns when you're far from home, when you're tired, wet, cold, or in the desert, when you're hot and thirsty. Our veterans always found a way to accomplish the mission and take care of each other. All our veterans, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, I commend you on taking the path less traveled. You know, back in World War II, roughly 10% of our eligible population served in uniform. Now that's less than 1%, so it's definitely a path less traveled. We still have roughly 22 million veterans in America, and let's not forget the current 150,000 that are deployed overseas and serving in 160 countries worldwide just today. So we want to thank you for your service, thank you for your sacrifice, your dedication to defend our great nation. We're forever indebted to you. Our veterans are America's heroes, and today we honor them with this great ceremony. And again, I want to thank High Point University for putting the ceremony on today. But I think it's important we want to remember our veterans every day and honor them every day. Let's not forget the families. And I'd ask, could we have the veterans' family members please rise, please stand up, if we have it here. Let's give them a big hand. They kept the home fires burning, and they sacrificed as much, if not more, than some of our veterans. And like the gentleman said before, missed anniversaries, missed birthdays, missed graduations, missed reunions, a lot of sacrifice and a lot of burden carried by our families, so we want to thank you. Let's also remember those that never came home. We pay gratitude for all that served. I tell you, I agree with President Qubein. Our future looks good. Our future is very optimistic. I think we got a Marine Corps Junior ROTC detachment here. Let's ask these young Marine high school students please stand up. They're headed in the right direction. And my prediction of these three youngsters, all three will serve in the military in some capacity. Okay, and they're nodding their heads. I think they're ready. We got a pen. I might tell you we got a pen. We can sign you up right here. We've got, as the president said, we've got a great ROTC, Army ROTC, Air Force is mixed in there too, detachment here at High Point. I was privileged to come back and do the commissioning in May and commission several cadets. Upstaged a little bit that day because Condoleezza Rice was on campus for the commencement, but kind of laid low and kept my ground there with the Army ROTC cadets. But just want to ask our youngest freshman cadet please stand up? This is what I looked like about 35 years ago, okay? Okay. Have you signed a contract? Not yet? Okay, I got you. I got him. But in about 35, maybe 38 years, we want to see you up here representing High Point well, okay? And I know you will. So I think our future is good, but as currently serving soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, we stand on the shoulders of the giants that have gone before us. And those are our veterans out here on the floor today. So let's give all our veterans here today another big hand. And all our participants and attendees today, you pay tribute by gathering here today and honoring our veterans. You know, I'm transitioning back into the civilian sector after 34 years, 8 months, 17 days, and 9 hours of service. And it's great to end my career where it started. I think it was about this grid square here in High Point. I have no idea what building it was in. We graduated in what we called the big gym, but it wasn't this nice. So I graduated and was commissioned very close to here. So it's good to conduct my last official act in uniform here at High Point. Thank you for being here. Thank you again, President Qubein, and God bless our troops. God bless America. Thank you.
Wow. What a morning. What a celebration. And what a special keynote speaker we have for you this morning. Celia Sands is a speaker, a writer, a television presenter, and the granddaughter of one of the most famous men of the 20th century. His name is Sir Winston Churchill. Celia has written 6 books on her grandfather's life. Her books are deeply personal and offer firsthand insight into the man the Atlantic magazine has described as the most influential politician in our history. The legendary broadcaster Tom Brokaw, who was our commencement speaker 2 years ago at High Point University, has said Churchill was, and I quote, the voice of common hope to free people. Today, Celia Sands will bring that message of hope to all of us. Celia knew him as Grandpapa, but he also was a war correspondent, an author, a Nobel laureate, an honorary American citizen, and the Prime Minister of Great Britain during one of the most difficult times in history, World War II. In one of her books, titled We Shall Not Fail, Celia wrote that her grandfather's leadership is as relevant today as it was so many years ago. That is so true. Winston Churchill was a man of unimpeachable integrity. He stood up for what he believed in. And today, more than a half a century after his death, we still rely on him for guidance when we need inner strength. He never disappoints. On our own Castor Promenade on this campus, you will find one of his quotes. He said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." Just another timeless lesson from Celia's grandpapa. Celia says she feels lucky that she knew and loved Winston Churchill. And ladies and gentlemen, we're so lucky, we're so blessed to have her with us today. Please help me welcome Miss Celia Sands.
Well, good morning, everybody. Very happy to be with you. I want to thank President Nido Qubein for inviting me to be with you today at wonderful High Point University. I had no idea until I came here yesterday what a beautiful campus you have. It's absolutely wonderful. And I'm so pleased to be here to remember the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom. I was told of the charisma and charm of your president before I got here, but was not prepared for the strength of that description until I saw him in action. I'm so proud and so honored to be with you here on Veterans Day. And I'd like to thank all the veterans present for everything they have done and continue to do to keep us all free. Over the years, I have had the chance to meet many veterans of World War II whose experiences have inspired successive generations for more than 70 years. And more recently, veterans of Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. This morning, when I turned on the news, I heard the terrible news that 2 American servicemen had died yesterday in Afghanistan. My grandfather served on the northwest frontier of India, took part in the last great British cavalry charge at the Battle of Omdurman, rode with the South African Light Horse during the Anglo-Boer War, and served in the trenches in World War I. This means that he understood the military life and warfare more than most. When he became Prime Minister in 1940, he told Parliament that all he could offer was blood, toil, tears, and sweat. But even when the tide of war had turned, he was still fearful of the terrible losses that might be incurred. On the eve of D-Day, he told his wife, Clementine, "Do you realize by the time we wake up in the morning, more than 20,000 men may be dead?" Fortunately, the cost was less, but none will be more aware of the sacrifice entailed in World War II than the veterans represented here today. You can tell stories of Utah and Omaha beaches where 1,500 died in one day, the hell of Guadalcanal and Iwo Jima, the naval battles in the Pacific, and the kamikaze pilots, the original suicide bombers, the campaign in North Africa, and the struggle up Italy, and more. Then, within a few years, the wars in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and now the endless turmoil in the Middle East. More dreadful battles than one can bear to think of. This week, the United Kingdom, like the United States, commemorates those lost in war. The poppy I am wearing goes back to 1915, when it was first worn to remember those who fell in the First World War, many in the poppy fields of Flanders. A Canadian soldier, John McCrae, remembered them like this: "In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago, we lived, fell down, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders field. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from falling hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders field." Last year, One sculpted poppy for every fallen British soldier was planted in the moat surrounding the Tower of London. It was a sea of red, an incredibly moving sight. For most people, World War II is now history, and its impact on the imagination of those of us who have never been to war is much less vivid than the televised smoke and flames of present-day conflicts which are beamed daily into our living rooms. Many of you fought in one or other of these theatres of war. We must all hope that as we anxiously watch the unfolding events through the Middle East, our two countries will always remember and pay tribute to the brave men and women whose huge sacrifice and heroic deeds kept America and Britain the great democracies they are today. I was born as the bombs were falling over London during World War II, and I played in the rubble of the bomb sites after the war. Korea is a vague childhood memory. Vietnam was the first war I became aware of as I grew up. I followed the events taking place, with horror but inevitably at arm's length. 10 years ago, that all changed when my son, Alexander, whose father was a veteran of Korea and Malaya, joined the army and served 2 tours in Afghanistan, where Churchill had served 120 years before. I gave him a copy of my grandfather's memoir of his time there, and could hardly believe how history continues to repeat itself even now. Alexander followed his great-grandfather to the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst. After his passing out parade, there was a service in the chapel. I struggled to conceal my anguish as I looked around the chapel and saw stone after stone after stone commemorated a soldier who had graduated from that very academy, who had been killed on a battlefield. Alexander and his 2 closest friends were having a drink together one day, and they said, well, one of us is going to get it. Well, of those 3, one of them had disastrous wounds. He lost both his legs. The other one had to have his face rebuilt. Understanding what is going to happen is quite another thing, but living it is quite another. They had understood it, they thought. They were all the sons of army generals, but they could never realize it until they saw it. They all set off proudly with enthusiasm like Winston Churchill had to serve their country, and returned profoundly changed by the experience. Harry without his legs, Orlando with his face rebuilt. Alexander was lucky. He came home in one piece, the other 2 with life-changing wounds. The whole time he was away, I was in constant fear of that knock on the door. I was fortunate, but I'd never forget the mothers, wives, sisters, and sweethearts who lost their loved ones. I'm constantly impressed by the respect and gratitude that America shows to the military. Letting them board a plane first costs nothing, but gives them the feeling that they are respected for what they do. Among some of the most moving experiences of my life have been my visits to the Normandy beaches, where the remains of the Mulberry harbours still rise from the sea. My visits to the hauntingly beautiful military cemeteries, where row after row of white tombstones bear the names of those brave young men from both our countries who gave their lives that we could have our freedom. I have had the privilege to go to those extraordinary places in the company of men who were there on that day. and also with many families retracing their loved ones. In a few moments, we are going to sing the Battle Hymn of the Republic. This was one of my grandfather's favorite hymns, and we sang it at his state funeral in St. Paul's Cathedral in London in January 1965. And every time I hear it, I remember that day. At every war memorial in Britain on Remembrance Sunday, wreaths are laid in the memory of those who died, and a 2-minute silence is observed. At each one of these ceremonies, immortal words will be spoken in honor of all those who gave their tomorrows so we might have our todays. This is what they will hear, probably from rather a croaky voice of a veteran who served many years ago. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you very much.
High Point University, as I said earlier this morning, is a God, family, and country school. And as an anchor institution in the city of High Point, we have both an obligation to serve and an opportunity to positively impact our neighbors, our brothers, and our sisters. On this campus, we fly more than 100 U.S. flags. And we have other patriotic displays on and around our campus because we want our students to be engaged citizens. We also want to ensure that every child in our city has an American flag near them. Whether they go to school, where they play, where they seek assistance. So today, on behalf of the entire High Point University family, I'm honored to present 100 United States of America flags to many organizations and agencies that serve the High Point community and may have difficulty in maintaining the flags at their locations found throughout the city or can't have enough flags where they are. As representatives of these city office and organizations come forward, I want you to know we are providing each one with one flag on this stage, but in total, these organizations will collectively receive 100 flags to be displayed throughout our city. First, the mayor of the city of High Point, Mayor Bill Bensini. Guilford County Chairman of our commissioners, Mr. Jeff Phillips. Guilford County Schools Western Region Superintendent, Dr. Meg Sheehan, and High Point Central Junior ROTC. The Chief of our Police Department in the city of High Point, Chief Kenneth Schultz. Deputy Fire Chief Tim Wright. United Way and partner agencies and other nonprofits, all 30 of them plus more, to which High Point University is proud to raise $250,000 each year. Greater High Point United Way President Bobby Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud of all that you do. Let me make it very clear, this university will always be committed to provide you with American flags whenever you need them, to fly them proudly across this, the furniture capital of the world, and this home of High Point University. Thank you for being with us, and God bless you. I am so proud of this campus with our students and their leaders. They demonstrate their excellence in all kinds of ways. We say at High Point University, every student receives an extraordinary education in an inspiring environment with caring people. And but one example of that this morning is what you've already experienced, performing America the Beautiful. Please welcome the High Point University Chamber Singers under the direction of the talented Dr. Mark Foster, Chair of the Department of Music.
And I believe you have an insert in your program with the words of America the Beautiful on it. You'll note that there are 4 verses. The chamber singers are going to sing the first verse to remind you what it sounds like. And then I invite you to join in on verses 2, 3, and 4.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Leonard. I would like to thank President Qubein, Major General O'Connell, Mr. Golden, Ms. Sands, the administration, the volunteers, and on behalf of the brothers of the Kappa Sigma fraternity, I would also like to welcome our military heroes to the beautiful High Point University. We are here today to celebrate each one of you, to thank you for your service, and to honor you for your commitment to our country. As the philanthropy chair of the Kappa Sigma fraternity, I'm excited to share with you that our philanthropy is a military heroes campaign. I am proud to say through our fundraising efforts here on campus to date, we have exceeded our semester goal and are well on our way to raising $10,000. Nationally, Kappa Sigma has donated $295,000 to the Military Heroes campaign in 2016 alone. I myself am from Falls Church, Virginia, and I went to high school in Washington, D.C., just blocks down from the U.S. Capitol building. It was a privilege to see the beauty of the Pentagon, Arlington National Cemetery, the World War II Memorial, and so many more monuments on my commute to and from school. These majestic sights reminded me of the sacrifices that were made on behalf of every American to protect the freedoms that we do cherish today. Although I don't have any immediate family members in the military, I have always had a respectful admiration for those who serve and believe we can never thank you enough. Whether it is raising money for the Military Heroes Campaign or visiting with the local first responders at the local High Point Fire Department, like we did on Patriot Day, we will still cherish every sacrifice that you have made for our freedom. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs deemed this day a celebration to honor Americans' veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. I think we can all honestly say we sometimes make ourselves way too busy and get caught up in the craziness of life. So it is truly an honor for me and all of us to slow down, take a step back, and focus on true American heroes who deserved our greatest attention. And I say a heartfelt thank you and God bless you.
Hi there, good morning. My name is Michael Esposito. I'm from Libertyville, Illinois, and a senior here at High Point University. I'm also the chapter president of Kappa Alpha Order, an active fraternity here on campus. Last February, my fraternity partnered with the Independence Fund and HEAL Team 6 with the goal of raising $16,000 to provide a track chair for a wounded veteran. From February to April, the 74 brothers of my chapter turned to our friends and families to help realize that goal and change a veteran's life. In the end, we were able to raise and donate a total of $26,000 thanks to the nationwide coalition of individual donors and business sponsors that our brothers worked to build. Without their hard work, none of this would have been possible. Presenting the track chair to Sergeant Michael Verardo and his family was an extremely powerful experience. Listening to him talk about how the chair would give him the mobility he needed to play with his two small children in the backyard made us realize the importance of what we had done. Our fraternity received emails and phone calls after Fox News shared our story from people around the world. One of the first emails I responded to came from Michelle Coleman, all the way from California, the mother of a career Army soldier. She asked me why a bunch of frat boys decided to do what we did. I told her that for us, it was a matter of perspective. We realized that while we are here enjoying the blessings of a college experience and preparing for our future, there are young men and women at home and around the country serving in uniform. They are away from the comforts of their own homes, their families, and their friends. We wanted to do something special for them, a humble service for a deserving veteran. This year, we are again working to raise the funds necessary to provide another chair for another deserving veteran. We are looking to the coalition of supporters who helped us last April, as well as partnering with members of the community and business leaders to help realize our goal and once again change a veteran's life. On behalf of Kappa Alpha and Operation CARE, thank you veterans here today for your sacrifice and your service. For all of you like me, to honor our veterans, I hope you will consider joining our mission to better care for the men, women, and families who have borne the battle while serving our nation. Our final song is a fitting one. Please help me welcome back the chamber singers and Dr. Mark Foster as they perform Battle Hymn of the Republic. Thank you.
I've had the good privilege of conducting this song many, many times, and I have to say now, thank you for sharing that this was a favorite of Winston Churchill. It'll have even more and more significant meaning for me. Thank you very much. Differently for this time conducting it, I want to draw your attention. As the song reaches its climax at the end, we'll sing the chorus twice at the end. The second chorus, when the sopranos go high and start yelling, the HPU and local community volunteers will join together in the stands over here to display a patriotic message honoring you on this special day. So towards the end of the piece, stop looking at the choir and look over this way. Thank you very much.
Have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are sown. He hath loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching.
If you're sitting on the front, you probably couldn't see exactly what it says, but it says, "We love our veterans." Veterans, on this day, remember that your High Point University family is grateful for your service, and we're blessed to have spent some time with you this morning. We want to provide each veteran here today with a special gift. It's a small gift, but a symbolic one at that. This gift is a blanket that I hope you will display in your home, that I hope you will always remember that just as you have showered us with your love, commitment, and patriotism, we want you to feel our warm love and appreciation return. Gentlemen. So we hope that you will use this blanket, and when you do, remember that there are so many here today and so many more not here today who appreciate the blanket of freedom that your service and sacrifice have afforded everyone who calls the United States our home. As you exit today, HPU ROTC students will provide each veteran with one of these blankets. We ask our volunteers to please allow our veterans to exit first, so they may receive this blanket. I told you earlier we have 900 people. I was corrected. We have more than 1,100 people here this morning, so we're so glad that you're here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you're president of a university, people give you a lot of credit, but you really can't go to sleep at night accepting all that credit, because the true credit goes to the people who make this university work every day. That's our leadership team. There are so many of them who work so hard for so long to execute on this morning, and all of them were under the leadership of one individual whom I would like for you to recognize. He's the Senior Vice President of Communication at High Point University, the most innovative, creative guy you'll ever meet. Roger, come on up just a little bit, right up front so they can see you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roger Clotfelter, right there. Just a reminder to all of you, your families, your neighbors, and your friends. On December 14 and 15, we have our annual community Christmas celebration. Some 30,000 people come to our campus. Our students are gone, and you come, you ride horses, you see Santa Claus, you have food, you see the glorious decorations we have on this campus, where they will close down Disney World on those 2 days because nobody wants to go there. Everybody wants to come here. And you will see, ladies and gentlemen, with all due respect to all faiths and all backgrounds, on this campus, we also have a life-size nativity scene. Let me explain. I asked a friend of mine, his name is Mark Phillips, if he would create a life-size nativity scene to put on our campus. And Mark said, "I'm a Jewish boy from Harlem. What do I know about the nativity scene?" And I said, Jesus, when he was born, was a Jew. So go do your homework. So he created this beautiful nativity scene. It was going to cost us $100,000. So the nativity scene came in. It was gorgeous. You will see it here. We're putting it up as we speak. It was absolutely gorgeous. So I said, Mark, you have outdone yourself. This nativity scene is absolutely spectacular. Now I said, Mark, when you die, do you want to go to heaven? He said, well, yes. I said, well, then give me this nativity scene free. So if you come to our Christmas celebration, you'll see something amazing. This year, I've asked Mark to create this nutcracker, this soldier that is about 16 feet high. And we're going to put him up and down our international avenue. And it's going to be a phenomenal looking scene, let me tell you. We asked him to make us 48 of those beautiful, and they're going to cost us $100,000. And they're here, and they're beautiful. And I'm meeting with Mark next week, and I'm going to ask him one question. Do you want your wife to make it to heaven, Mark? And I'm sure he's going to say yes. And he's got 2 kids, so there's next year and the next year. It's going to be amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being with us today. Veterans, we thank you for your service. We thank you for taking time to allow us to celebrate you and to express our appreciation. May God bless you all as you exit this place. This is your university. You're welcome back here anytime. Thank you and have a great day.